All right, man. Let's talk about the Lions trade, DeAndre Swift, and I'm on that bandwagon. I guess we started, and I think we at the point where I like to trade people before. I like to predict the trade people before it's too late. I'm like Bill Belichick. I'd rather get you. I'd rather get rid of you before it's too late. I'd rather get rid of you while you have um, value. And I think at the end of the day, he is our leading receiver. I mean, we had a live the other day, and most of y'all didn't care that the Lions might go winless to go 0-16 to go even 0-17 with the extra game this year. So, I mean, Brian Valeni he talked about on the show trading Ragnar and TJ Hawkinson, right, for picks. But I think, I won't say they cornerstones, all right? I would say, I say Ragnar's a cornerstone, but, Ragnar injured, but I don't have an issue with trading DeAndre Swift, right? I don't have an issue with getting rid of a guy like Swift who's already been injury prone, right, throughout his career, who's starting to have some value now. So people starting to look at him as very important. He has the most receiving yards for a back coming into Sunday. I don't know where that stands at, and I just think that with Jamal Williams, I think Williams has proven enough in the passing game and in the running game to be good enough. Now, when people say, well, he don't give you that explosion that DeAndre Swift, and DeAndre Swift is a more explosive back than Williams, but I think Williams give you more of that burst inside. I think he give you more burst inside the tackles, right? But like I said before, man, DeAndre Swift, he fast, but he not like taking to the house fast. Remember in Jacksonville last year where he should have took it to the house, he got caught. So I think they can continue the running back hunt next year and find a running back, maybe undrafted, second, third, fourth round, who has the explosion and a little bit more durable than DeAndre. Now he's not the smallest back, 5'9" to 11. That's solid for a guy that do what he do. But right now he got 41 rushes for 139. Right, what's 3.4 yards a rush? Right, you look at a guy like. We get to Jamal Williams anyway. You look at a guy like Jamal Williams, he give you more bang. Now you can say, well, they could put Swift in a slide and use him as a scat back. Cool, but I think you can get more. I think you can get something for Swift right now. A team like that's making a run, like maybe I know people ain't gonna like this, like the LA Rams. I mean, like the Cardinals could use a guy like Swift. I mean, I think they'd be willing to give up a second and third and fourth probably at the less I'll take for him for Swift, And then, you got Jamal Williams who deserved a load. You got a guy like Jamar Jefferson and, a Godwin who probably don't really get that burst, but you can find that burst in the draft. And what I'm saying is sell while you're hot. In the receiving game, he is hot. Look, he has 65 yards week 1, injured, 41 yards week 2, 60 yards week 1, in the passing game. Last week, but Chicago was a minimum of 4, was a minimum of 33 yards. You only got one touch, and I know people say, well, Jared Goff is better throwing Deacon Dak, and I get that, but I mean, right now you can get something for him. You're gonna get a whole bunch of compensatory picks next year too. It look like they always like to jack us for compensatory picks, but it looked like they might get 3 or 4, or 2 or 3, maybe 4 compensatory picks next year. So you can add another pick next year. Now, like I said before, he's just not doing it for me. He could catch the ball out the backfield, but he's a running back. Even Alvin Kamara gave a little bit more than him, but then he always injured. It's just the countdown to when he get injured. That's why I'm saying somebody like, who else you got? Somebody like Baltimore, right? Somebody like Baltimore. Somebody like, you don't know how J.K. Dobbs gonna come back. Baltimore, Kansas City. Who else you got over there? Well, Cleveland don't need him. Kansas City, I mean, even a team like the Los Angeles Chargers we seen yesterday could use him. Even a team like the Raiders can use him. Some contenders out there. I mean, the Buffalo Bills can use him. So, like I said before, it's not me a bad player. It's just the countdown till he get injured again, and he's just continue to get beat up, and you don't have nothing to show for it. Turn what it looks like on the surface that looks like to be an asset. Turn him into more assets. Even if you get even somebody offer you like a 4th and 5th, I go ahead and take that. Because football teams are built between the second and the second to undrafted. That's your football team. Now, if they keep him cool. Right now, he's more of a receiver out the backfield than he is a running back. Now, compared to Jamal Williams. And one of the reasons you get rid of him or you switch him to the slot, Jamal Williams, he doesn't get the value. That's the issue with Jamal Williams. He doesn't get the value. And that's what's hurting him. Because they trying to have two main back. But if you look at the comparison between them two, Williams is averaging 4.5 yards a carry on 42 rushes, 187. Right? People say, well, that's comparable to Swift. Because Swift, what? 41 rushes, 139. But he getting, he got what? But I say Swift had 139. So he getting over almost 40 more yards with one more carry. Guys like Williams need to get in the rhythm. They need to keep getting the ball. He just need to keep getting the ball, and he not being able to get in that value. And also, he give you something in the passing game: 56 yards, 12 yards, 25 yards. He didn't get any receptions in the Chicago game because they trying to separate them. Williams is a back who need to get carries. You look at Green Bay when he had games where Aaron Jones wasn't healthy, he had very explosive and productive games. You look through his catch radius, he only had like one drop. It looked like. So when you look at him, like I said, they can say, well, we gonna use Swift to spell Williams, and we gonna use Swift in the slot. We gonna use him as a third down back. You can do that, but Jamal Malik Williams, and make him the primary carry, that could work. But if Swift get injured again, he don't get no value. You might get a 6th, 7th round pick, maybe the 5th at the most for DeAndre Swift. So before he get injured, before he get that season-ending injury, like Okora and Jeff Okuda, get rid of him. If you can get a 3rd round pick for him, run off with it. If you get a 4th and 5th, run for it. You get a 2nd, run off with it. Run off with it, man. Because he explosive, but he ain't that explosive, bro. Like he ain't somebody that's gonna take it to the house like Barry or like LaShawn McCoy. Or I don't want to say LaShawn McCoy, like Deshaun Jackson. The Lions gotta find a thin line between athletes and football players, like Deshaun Jackson and Joey Galloway and Peter Warwick type athletes. They gotta find some speed. Right now, they don't have enough speed. They most athletic position outside the DB, and the DB should be the most outside the DBs is the defensive line. They the most athletic outside the DB. So, like I said, people say, well, they need a linebackers, they need safeties, they need the best player available, and they need to stockpile picks. That's what they need to do. They need to stockpile picks. But like I said before, man, this can work. This definitely can work. But then again, you got a power struggle here. You got Swift asking for more carries early on. You're not Jamal Williams, who averaging 4.5 yards a carry, but he not getting enough value. He not being able to get the rhythm. If you look at Jamal Williams, he a big back. He need to get in that rhythm. So, for me, you talking about guys that should be traded. DeAndre Swift, top of the list. You talking about guys that need to be benched. That's a totally different type of video. You talking about guys that that you should trade. Why not Swift? Let Jefferson and Godway in Ibuchi show what they can do. As far as receivers, I mean, you stuck there. But should you trade TJ Hawkins? I mean, that's a question that need to be asked. I wouldn't trade him. But once again, you can't trade your known talent. Not right now. Him, Ragnow, Jackson, Sewell. I mean, then you talking about Decker. Decker could help some teams out. I mean, the Raiders could use Decker. I mean, the Chargers could use Decker too. Seahawks, Dwayne Brown, like 50 years old. So, when you talk about Decker, DeAndre Swift, maybe a guy like Tracy Walker, I don't think nobody want Will Harris. It is what it is. You trade them for picks. Then you talk about inside linebackers and safety. Then you can take those draft picks and move up in a late first and get you a linebacker safety, and move up to the mid first or early second and get you linebackers and safety. That's where inside linebackers and safety go with your early picks. With your early picks, you can move up and you can take a quarterback. You can take an edge rusher, somebody that's going to be disruptive and stand up. Next year they could turn this shit around. Next year, as far as defensively, yeah, I would like to take all defense. But also, man, y'all seen the receiver core? Have you seen the quarterback? So those things need to be added. But you could turn DeAndre Swift, Taylor Decker into a lot of picks, and with the compensatory picks that we set to get, 3 or 4 of them, This draft can turn it around. People can be happy. You can get receivers second, third, fourth, fifth round. Kenny Galladay, Mike Thomas. Running back Derrick Henry. I mean, you can find. You can balance it. Hey, real talk. You could take a first round pick and turn to a next year first, return into a next year first and second and third this year, or some combination. Or you could take that first round pick from the Rams this year, right? You can move back up in the first round and get stuff. Really, offensive line wise, they good. Matt Nelson came in, he was something else, and you turn him to a tackle, he good. Swift and Decker could turn into something beautiful. Then next year is different. If Jared Goff not the answer, well, guess what? I don't have to take a quarterback number one. What if Matt Carroll slide and I like him? So be it. I go get him. Well, if I like the Malik kid from Liberty, what if I get him in the second round or late first? Cool. They could beat out Jared Goff next year, so be it. They sit behind Jared Goff, so be it. You find somebody in the third or fourth round, you sit him behind Jared Goff, you beat him. Don't forget Dak Prescott, Tom Brady, Russell Wilson. So, like I said, you could turn Taylor Decker and DeAndre Swift into picks. And next year could look totally different. When you talk about that middle to back half, you think about this year, Zayvon Collins, great player. You think about a guy like Davis from that played for the football team. They impact players right now. Next year, you find you a safety, a linebacker, edge rusher, that defense going to look better. The defense going to look a lot better. Find you another inside linebacker. And that's why I was trying to pair this year with Zayvon Collins and Davis from the football team from Kentucky. Pair them. They made a mistake. They made a mistake. And also, John Panisi is being productive. So even though we got injured players, we got Deshaun Hand coming back. We got Tyrell Williams coming back. We got some guys actually coming back. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Thumbs up, share the video, subscribe to the channel. That's the best way to donate. Don't forget you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Facebook group. If you want to advertise video, go chop it up. Ain't no Facebook group, choose me. Want to make a financial donation, Cash App, CJ Good 313, Venmo, CJ Good 313, PayPal link description. Appreciate the love, support. Let me know in the comment section. Detroit Lions Talk playlist for videos like this. Peace.